It was really interesting because my dad, they're going to sell their house. And he came out yesterday and he brought this big box full of photos and excerpts from Kevin Curren. And I'd love to hear your story about Kevin. But he just reading all of that stuff and all the effort that he has put into it. And now to see it from a different point of view, because I was just focusing on hitting the ball and I had my own teenager issues at that time. And I wanted to be Wimbledon champion and I wanted to be #1 in the world. But now as a coach, seeing what goes on behind the scenes, behind a little star like that, and I have quite a few of them. Another reason why I wanted to talk to you a little bit and just ask, what are your wisdom about developing these kids? And one of the things I wanted to ask you is, what would you say is like your coaching philosophy? What is something that you follow when you have these young champions?
In general, I would say that a word of encouragement after failure means a lot more than an hour of praise after success. Because every time you walk on the court, you've got a chance of either winning or losing. You can never have a tight tennis match. And for a lot of people, it's just about the result, winning.
Right.
For me, it was always been if my player is developing or not. For instance, I would like you to be able to hit all the different shots in tennis. You go into a tennis match, you play against someone under 12 that can only hit a defensive forehand and a defensive backhand, and they've got a good chance of beating you because you might be the one that want to attack. That's a little bit risky, so you might end up making mistakes. So I've got a choice of two. Either say to you, hey, you made too many mistakes, that's why you lost. Or I can say, I love the way you approach this game. That's the way to go forward.
Right.
And I think that's a message out there for young coaches as well today, is that your focus point on youngsters should be to develop their games into having an all-round game, and not just a defensive game or not just an attacking game, but you've got to have all the shots in tennis. And then it takes you 4, 5, 6, 7 years to develop those shots into potential weapons, at least to develop them into shots that you can play with confidence under pressure. And for me, that was also always the key, is that how do I make you believe that you are still good even though you lost? And I will never forget, Surina, there was a match that you lost against Matilda David.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
You lost 6-1, 6-2, and you used to beat her every time. And you shook her hand after the match, and then we went to the side, and there were some tears, and I said to you, you know what, you lost like a champion today. The fact that you could lose like this, not looking for excuses or blaming anyone for it, that is going to help you when you play her the next time. And then a week later, you guys had to play each other again, and you beat her 6-1, 6-1. And I said to you, now that's what I would like to see, is not to look for excuses. Just say that my opponent played better than me on the day, maybe that you didn't feel too well, or whatever the reason might be. But yeah, the focus was always on trying to improve my game, trying to raise my level of play. And a good example is now, last weekend, Alcaraz lost the first set 6-1.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't hoping that Djokovic would play worse. He said to himself, I've got to lift my game. And that's always been my focus point of my players, to tell them, listen, that focus on you want to play well.